All right. How's it going, guys? I'm Michael James Slattery, and I'd like to call myself the Luminist. I do something that I feel is kind of unique insofar as image creation, because what I'm doing is I'm capturing light from a tripod starting in the afternoon, typically sometimes in the middle of the night, through either sunrise or sunset, capturing all the colors as the sun hits the horizon, and then more pictures either while the day is light or the car, house, and street lights are on. And what I'm trying to do is capture that dynamic range. In school, I learned that our eyes see about this much color and light, let's say, but a camera sees this much and a print sees this much. So learning the zone system, color theory, how chemicals work, silver halides inside of film emulsions, and how they capture light comparatively to our eyes capture light. We're trying to bridge that gap as artists is what I've learned. And I've been fascinated with the study of light ever since I was very, very young. And understanding this and trying to define it or expand it or ultimately bring a latitude of light that's actually, by my technique, larger than what our eyes can see. Because our eyes can see only so much at a certain time. I discovered this in school while I was in college. I went out on a bright sunny day and I came into the darkroom where the red light was on, and normally I could see, but it took about 15 minutes for my eyes to adjust. And in that moment, I realized infrared to ultraviolet, which is what our eye, greater than our eyes can see, we have to adjust our eyes like a camera. We adjust with the aperture, shutter, and ISO, like a print, like we adjust with zone, with different grades of paper and color, RGB color channels. So with that said, I'll show you a quick demonstration of my work and what I'm trying to do. It's the whole fascination of all the ingredients we learned about in photography, blended, I believe. And I'm kind of bridging the gap where some of the greatest artists have painted in the mind's eye, where they illuminate a subject that's not relative to necessarily where the light's coming from. So for instance, on this print, you can see the top of the trees. They have light from the evening on them as well. If you look at the top of these trees, that's the light of the daytime on top of them. But if we look at the sky, the sun is set. That gold sun is set. I'm really sorry about the reflection, but the blue sky above it's before the sun is set. And then the car, house, and street lights, they don't come on until the sky is dark. And so I'm bridging all of that, like some of the greatest American painters, maybe in what the Luminism movement of the 1850s was, Thomas Cole. And you see here, one of the accidents in my technique is people come and go while I'm doing all these captures. And when I blend, sometimes the people are and aren't there, and things come and go in my pictures, relaying that sense of time. I never really wanted the ghost, but when people started telling me stories about memories they had, it's just been a wonderful thing, inspired like by the likes of Bob Ross and all the kind of great Norman Rockwell. So yeah, that's what I do. And what we're going to do today, that took a whole, 3 minutes? You had to listen to that. So what we're doing today is I am going to be manufacturing one of these prints, reclaimed from the pier in Ocean Beach. I'm making a metallic photo paper print encapsulated between two sheets of acrylic and what people like to refer to as a FaceMount. And I'm finishing the edges extraordinarily nicely with a diamond edge finisher. And it's like a piece of jewelry I'm creating, essentially, framed in a piece of reclaimed harvest I got from the Ocean Beach Pier. Comes with these laser burn plaques I manufacture. And so hopefully today, within the next whatever amount of time it takes, I'm going to demonstrate my face mounting process and something to a finished print. So here are small samples of what I have of the 6x9. I'm going to do under the Ocean Beach Pier, and hopefully frame it in this amount of time. So I have the double-sided optically clear adhesive. This whole area has been prepped. I mean, there's been time put into the cutting of the acrylic, the double-sided optically clear adhesive, the printing. So I'm just trying to relay this process where I do the actual. Now you can't see here, I used the blue tape to bring one side of the release liner on this double-sided optically clear adhesive up, and I tape down that lip. And obviously I have a lip here. I flip that over, and I make sure enough. And so I create one. I try to make this as flat as possible. And I create one ready to go print, essentially, I didn't have this on the table, huh? Ready to be, essentially to have a sticker stuck to the face of it. This is, like I said, it's a double-sided optically clear adhesive. And I'm just making sure that the adhesive and the print are exact, so when I roll it through the rollers, I don't get any adhesive on the rollers because those things cost a lot of money. You want them to last as long as possible. And it'll just be easy to manufacture if everything's clean. That's one of the biggest things about doing these is making sure there is no dust or bubbles. So I have a foot pedal here I use. There we are. And let's get it started. And I have this secret technique that helps me a ton with making sure I get no dust or air bubbles. And bam, that's half of my secret. Roll up my sleeves here because there's dust everywhere. And this light that shines directly across it. So any amount of any kind of, like this has been sitting out for like 5-6 hours and there's just this really thin layer of dust that you can obviously see. And my secret also is using my hand because there's a little bit of moisture on there. A dust cloth is going to leave more dust. Air is just going to blow it around and it's going to fall. This is just the most best technique I've found by just literally being very careful over the top and seeing where you see the dust and wiping it away. Next thing you want to make sure of is that adhesive is rolled up tight against the roller so that there's no bubbles as it goes through. And just let it go through really slowly. And we're removing one side of the adhesive so the metallic photo paper print essentially has a sticker over the top of it. Yeah, and that alarm is what makes sure you don't crush your fingers. I like to go slow. The roller is heated up to like 120 degrees and has this really significant rubber around it. All right, so now our print, our archival 12 color printer that prints some of the most dynamic range ever created on a original equipment manufacturer paper, the metallic photo paper. I have a sticker on the face of it. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to attach it to a sheet of acrylic. Make sure there's no bubbles right there. Sometimes there's little itty bitty bubbles. And guess what you can get rid of them with? Nice soft rub with your fingernail. Yeah, that's nothing. That's the picture. All right, so I need a leaderboard for this. This might be a little thick, but I'll take it. What I'm doing is I'm putting a leaderboard on this end. This way, when I do each one of these individually rather than in a batch, you know, every inch of paper and adhesive, that's money. So I'm taking the other side of the sticker off the face. So now I'm going to have a sticky face, and I'm going to adhere the sticky face of the print to a piece of acrylic. I want to make sure you take off one side of the paper, at least, so you don't stick it to the paper. And another thing I like to do, I don't always do it with the small ones, but I'll do it today, is there's always some kind of residual, like, static or something. So I like to squirt it really quick, and it seems to get rid of any leftover residue, or sometimes you catch a piece of paper. So that's nice and clean. And then definitely, this is the dust removal system. It's this just amazing tool that just eliminates dust. I can't use it on the prints when I roll them through. It sticks to it, so I have to use my hand technique. But anything like this, or the face of the adhesive, if it's got dust on it or whatever, look at that. I'm within a 1/16 on every side, dude. I've been doing this for so long. I'm not going to show it to you, but yeah, I'm pretty good at this. You know, a lot of the labs, they talk about I've talked to a couple guys that work at labs and make these face mounts, and they say they have a rework rate of about 1 in 5, meaning like every 5th print they throw away. It's part of the reason why they're so expensive, let alone the material cost on the acrylic. That adhesive is as much as the acrylic, at least the 1/8 inch per square inch. And yeah, that's the way I get my pricing, is the way I calculate stuff is per square inch. So we're going to do the same thing as before. Yeah, and that's why I do the single print at a time, no matter what size. I mean, I could probably save money on time and production, but I'm an artist. Guess how much production I get to do. I mean, to be honest with you, these prints here, I'm manufacturing for the Ocean Beach business community and anything having to do with the community, like businesses around there. I'm going to donate a significant amount of this wood from the Ocean Beach Pier, this particular thing I'm making, and I'm going to need it because that's a much thinner piece. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to be donating to the business communities down there, so, you know, whatever happens to the pier. Although today on the pier, there's a notice that says FEMA is going to get them to repair it rather than to build a new one. So that should be interesting. How much longer is that dip where the impact zone and all the high tides just come and destroy the top of the pier that's causing all the damage on it? Yeah, so I'll turn the light on for us. So now we're going to have halfway finished piece, because I'm unlike most labs and other places where they don't encapsulate. They either use a dye bond on the back, some sort of thin metal with foam. I put the acrylic on the back because it just makes such a nicer piece and keeps things flat. And that's why I use 1/4 inch on the face too. It's just to, you know, these galleries, some of them will sell these face mounts that are just one-sided with the 1/8 inch and no encapsulation, where the back of the paper print is like it is now, where it's raw. You know, get top dollar. So let's run this through a couple times. I always like to do that after it's, just to feel good about it. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can, but I'm running that same print one way each side through the, this might be an extra one, just for good measure. You know, I want to see if you can see that. Oh yeah, all right, good, we're good to go. So now we're going to put the back on, but in order to do that, we got to use another piece of this super expensive adhesive, because I don't want colored, and all the other adhesives don't have anywhere near the grip, tensile strength, and all the different measurements they use for adhesives. And it just makes it more archival, I believe, based on what I've researched. That's one of the reasons I use the pigmented ink printer, the Epson 9570. It's you'll see it one day in a video soon. I just got it. If you look at some of my older videos, you'll see the installation. It's kind of a poop show, but it was fun. So yeah, I'm using the same adhesive that we use for the face mount on the back to adhere the sandwich aspect, where the print becomes encapsulated and helps make a much flatter product and more finished, you know, like I showed you before, that, you know, I'm pretty much making jewelry almost. Depends on who you ask. So same thing, get rid of that little static. You know, I didn't even really look at this, did I yet? We should do the reveal close to you. Coming to you right here, right now, is the reveal of the print. Let's see if I got any bubbles or dust. Oops, it's upside down. This is not the way to do this. You typically use a roll. Oh, this is really bad. I hope this is funny. But it looks like, you know, these small ones I just nailed. Look, I mean, the detail. Can you focus on that? These small ones just look outstanding. Yeah, on the acrylic. I haven't even finished the edges, but, you know, that's a raw edge. Can we focus on that camera? Come on. There we are. That's a cut edge with it. You don't want to see that. We'll do the finish edge soon enough. We're 14 minutes in. I think we're doing okay. Gotten farther than I thought I would. Ooh, I think we got a bubble there. Sometimes you just don't tell anybody and you can push it right to the edge. There we go. This adhesive's incredible. There we go. Not supposed to see that. Yeah, beautiful. Flawless. So from here we're going to attach another piece of double-sided optically clear adhesive to an 1/8" sheet of acrylic. You know, this is essentially dollar bills, if you think about it. So, let's get this one in here. Now, on these, I don't bring the light because the light's bright enough here and it's an even surface, so to see with this. Plus, if you get a small piece of dust or a small air bubble on the backside, it's not going to be seen. I generally don't. But like I said, the other photo labs, they have a rework rate of every 5th one they throw out because of a piece of dust or air bubble. But because I do these, I'd say mine's more like 1 in 20. So if I ever need to get a job doing this, and for what it's worth, you know, if you look on the website, luminous-views.com, LUMINOUS-views.com, VIEWS, you can see my workshop where you just pay the same price as you would at most photo labs for a print and walk you through the entire process. Probably a little bit more thorough than what you're seeing here, but this is the free course online where you probably won't even have to buy my workshop because you'll learn enough about it. So then, to do this properly, what I normally do, because I can do these by hand usually, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate. Let's see if you can see this side of the table, because I ain't moving that camera. You'll see over here. I'll move the camera. All right, I'm not going to be that much of a jerk. What I'm going to do there is register it so it's much more kind of perfect, because I've cut the pieces of acrylic see with 3 points. It's like a tripod. It just, let me move this one over just in case. So what I do is I pull off the last release liner on the opposite side of that piece of acrylic. Make sure this is nice and dust free. And I'll place this over the top, holding the sticky side with my fingers with a space between it. And everything lines up pretty perfectly. Boom, look at that. And then from here, let's go back. Boom. Just roll it through the roller one time. I'm not even paying attention to which way I'm rolling it. Trying to impress you guys. Let's move this up a little bit because of that lip. There we go. There we go. And then as the thing rolls through, you pull off that release liner and you don't get it. You freaking. I didn't get it out fast enough. Talking and doing something at the same time. I was afraid I was going to look like a fool. So we just go backwards until we can get that release liner. Oh boy, that thing's tight, huh? Nice and snug. Oh, like a bug in a rug. I need you to come back on me, baby. Baby, come back. Goodness, come on out all the way. Let's see what we got. There we go. I went the wrong way in. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. Either way, got the release liner off. Got a nice good hit. Let's make sure I didn't screw that up and get any bubbles in there. Now that looks beautiful, I'll tell you what. And I said off. Oh, son of a gun. So anyways, we'll finish off these edges. You can see print came out beautiful. No bubbles, no dust. Come on, focus. Yeah. The underside. People. So we're going to finish these edges. See how raw that edge is? Come on, focus. Yeah, right there. We're going to finish that off. It's going to take 2 steps. Let's get the camera over here. As you can see back there on the floor in the second shelf is my harvest of the Pierwood that we're going to be drawing from. So let's get these edges nice. Now the backing on my saw is back right here. It's kind of not, it needs to be replaced, so I might catch it on here. So hopefully I don't look like a moron when I do that. So now we have a router finished edge, which is nice and smooth and straight, but it's not glossy. It's time to turn it into a piece of jewelry. Let's do this, and maybe I'll talk more about it. That's a wonderful battery that I use for my evening setup with the lights. Works really well. And that piece of equipment that you're about to see me move over here, is the Burmac Diamond Edge Finisher. Requires special power because it is used to a 220. So we like to plug the power first. And plug this in. What we're going to do is we're going to take the vacuum off of the router and turn off the router and use the hose on this vacuum for the dust on this machine here. Gotta get my special hose. Will you be able to see what I'm doing over there? No, you're not. Oh, you missed all that. When I moved the power over, this is a big special amp for the European power. And then this is a hose for the dust. For this wonderful, very expensive and broke machine. But it makes these incredible edges. So we're gonna hear some noise. And I hope you guys can appreciate what this machine does. Take this off. See, we want to do the router first because we want a flat edge to go through here. This thing barely takes anything off. So I'm just going to throw it inside. So you can see the router edge, and then when it's all sides are done, you can see through it wonderfully. But that edge. Come on, guys, right there. Yeah, focus on this. Can't see it, but anyways, you can kind of see. Look at that. Come on, focus on this. Yeah, no, look at that. It's insane. So let's finish, and then we'll get some more talking. Now you should be able to see through all edges. I mean, now focus. See, look at that. It's insane how different the piece comes out. It was a significant investment because I used to do these by hand. But I mean, it's just like, come on, focus. You're supposed to be able to focus on this. There we are, right there. Focus right there. Okay. There. Look at that. See right through it. And then if you look at the edge, you can kind of see a reflection of the picture on the edge. You know? Anyways, so that's a finished piece. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take some of this lumber here, and I'm going to make a frame for the special commemorative prints I'm doing that I've harvested from the Ocean Beach Pier. This thing doesn't want to work very well, does it? Look at that. Okay, that'll have to do. So what do we got? Let's measure that. Just to make sure I'm over here measuring. Just pretend you're watching me measure. We're going to go 10 by 13. So 12 by... So that's the vertical piece. We'll do a second one. All right. And I know people end up collecting these pieces that I have, and I probably use them for something. I don't want to waste any of this stuff. Although the harvest was pretty good this year. I don't want to use that one. Let's use this one. Last one. Got a knot. I gotta replace the blades on that probably, but it still comes out pretty good. You'll see. So I got our 4 pieces here. Let's get a little bit of glue. I can find where my glue is. Yeah. So you see what I'm doing there? Yep, good enough. I'm going to put a little bit on here. I think I know what I'm doing. Get this adjusted for the size of our molding. These are 7s I'm putting into a 5/8 of an inch. Well, that's all closer to probably 3/4, somewhere in between there. Ooh. You know, I ripped this stuff with that, and the wood isn't exactly perfect, so it'll come out nice nevertheless. Corners come out pretty good. Huh? I try not to waste any wood, you know, so I use the pieces that have been mangled. So let's make some space here. Still got to do those. Did I see it in there? That looks good. Okay, so here's our print. We're going to attach it to this. Boom. And what I use, what I like to use is a complete transparency, is to make sure, first thing I like to use is to make sure there's no dust on the back of that bad boy. I want the adhesives that we use to work as best as possible, and it seems to have over the last, what, decade plus. I've been doing these face mounts since 2013. I got to be honest though, I haven't refined them to the level I'm at now. For only about, I've been doing it at this level, the way I'm sharing it with you, for about, since about 2019. Ray helped me out a whole bunch. Yeah, where do I like to put it on the... I try to line up all the corners. And if any of the silicone squeezes out, I wait till it dries. Yeah, this was a really tight fit. I got a lot of space on here, so I'm going to have a lot of silicone to squeeze out. Probably see it in that picture, huh? I don't even want to share it with you. But anyways, normally I do a much cleaner application of the adhesive for the print to the frame. But, and then to finish it off, what will happen is I have a laser, and I've burned the story where the frame came from. Do I like this one? I want to show a pretty one. A pretty one. And they're all the same, of course. I don't know why I think there's a prettier one than another one. So I have these thin pieces of ply that I burn, and then I adhere to the frame there to make it a commemorative keepsake. So yeah, and if you want, let's zoom in on that. Let's see if we can. There we go. From there, I put a certificate of authenticity in the back, because everything I do is limited in edition. And I sign and put the limited edition number on the front. Yeah, this is made 420 of these, believe it or not. Ocean Beach has been incredibly good to me. So with that said, these prints that I'm talking about here are the ones that I'm making. You can see the stack of acrylic there, and I've got plenty of this recent harvest to do what I want. And what that is I'm gonna be going around to Ocean Beach and talking people that are local business owners that have been there a while, community members, the town council people that are just make OB what it is. And I want to donate these to the people that'll have them in spaces where the people of Ocean Beach can see. Yeah. The pier has been super significant. The number of stories I've heard with the last 4 batches of these I've manufactured for the Ocean Beach Community Facebook 1 page. I haven't really maybe that's the only people, but I'm so grateful to be able to, I mean, people telling me about their entire family ashes have been spread over the pier. A cancer survivor going to the pier every day and then getting a piece of it after, you know, getting through her survival by walking to it every day and then having it closed on her. The people jumping off the pier, you know, with the whole lifeguard thing that they do with the kids. There's a bunch of stuff that the Ocean Beach Pier means to a bunch of people. So, like I said, I'm going to manufacture hopefully about 15 of these, and sorry for that. Get them out to the Ocean Beach community, and hopefully you guys can help me if you've watched this video for that long. This is a basic overview of how I make these prints, and really appreciate you guys watching and seeing how I do it.